Do you like my Halloween tree? Let's go ahead and get started, and I'll tell you what I've done. Everything but one came from Everything is a Dollar. So, started the hat. This was a headband, witch's hat, and I took the headband off and glued it to the top of the tree. Actually, and I did that last, okay? I spray painted, and I'll show you the paint. I already owned it. I spray painted with a rustoleom finish. It was a hammered metallic, so I'll show you that paint. The lights are actually a plug-in. They're not battery operated, but they also came from Everything's a Dollar. I bought 2 packages of bulbs. This and that one came in the same package. And then I had this one here. I'll show you on this other side. Actually, I can show you right here. This was red with the white silvery sparkles. And originally I had used, this is the one that I'm glad I seen that. Okay, so 2 sections of this. I used a Sharpie on, well, I'm going to take this off and fix it. I used a Sharpie on this section and I hated it. So I started to use my black paint pen I bought. And I'll show you how another one turned out. But I'm so glad I seen that because I thought I fixed them all. So let's come over on this other side and I'll show you. Do you see how the Sharpie looked? And then how the black paint pen looked? It just covered every portion of the surface. So I'm going to fix that one. So I'm so glad I seen that. This was in the other package and it was gold sparkles, and I just spray painted it with the same rustoleom metallic hammered finish. This is a feather boa here, and I just cut parts of it after I got the tree and everything on, and I put that on after that. This is a glass candlestick starting here to here, and this is also a glass candlestick starting here to here. I painted them with the rustoleom hammered metallic, and then I put a little bit of hot glue and then some E6000, and then I glued them together. I did a total of 3 coats to get this done, and the reason I did 3 coats was I didn't want any runs and drips. So I tried just to be really careful, take my time, and I think it turned out really well. The hot glue just kind of helps hold it there, and then the E6000 kind of bonds it forever. So that's kind of why you see a lot of people use both glues. The hot glue just kind of sets up a little quickly, and it just helps hold it there. But possibly not for the long haul, so I would definitely suggest, if you're going to do this with the glass, that I would definitely say use E6000. If you don't have hot glue, then I would just do the E6000, but I did do both. So I have 2 packages of bulbs that I did. I had some bat clips, and I used 2 out of the 4 that I had. In between each section, inside there against the stick, I didn't love how it looked, so, and I don't know how well you can tell, but I put part of that feather boa in between every layer, and it just made it look thicker and darker inside, so I like how that turned out. The tree took 3 total layers of paint. I had to hold it upside down, and I spray painted it a total of 3 times. Once from the bottom, once from the top, and then I just kind of got every little place that it felt like I missed. So, other than this guy here, like I said, he came from Joann's. He was $5. Everything on this tree came from Everything is a Dollar. I will show you the packages and things and explain to you in a little bit better what I did. This is the Christmas tree I bought from Everything is a Dollar. I did not end up using the legs. Okay, I took the legs off. I still have them. And I'll probably just throw them away. But I used the legs when I hung it. I hung it upside down with a coat hanger in the garage. And after I spray painted it, I held onto the bottom, I spray painted it, I put the legs on, and I actually used a coat hanger and I held it upside down to let it dry, so that way it could. Now, this piece here, okay, unscrews from this little round base that's on there. Let's see if I can hold this up better. Okay, so I unscrewed it from here, and then that way this kind of round piece here, not with the legs but just this part, I was able to put a little bit of hot glue on my candlesticks, and then I used E6000 at the bottom and along the sides, and I stuck it inside the candlesticks. And then once it was set, 24 hours later, I screwed the tree back in after the tree had been painted. It was probably closer to 48 hours because I did spray paint the tree 3 different times and I let it dry. But this part unscrews from here to this part here, which I suggest doing that so you could just get that piece there, not the legs, okay, just this little piece here. So that way you could attach it to your candlesticks, okay? And then later, once you've gotten your tree painted, you could just screw it back in. It comes out counterclockwise and, of course, clockwise to tighten it back up again. I would wait 2 days minimum before you go trying to put the tree back in, and then that way it gives this time to cure as well as your candlesticks, okay? So I did that. This is the lights that I used. These are plug-in lights. They are not battery operated. This is the feather boa. Of course, it was a lot longer when I started, but I have some left over, which I'll use for another project. This is the package of bats. I only used 2 on my tree. I could use the others, but I just didn't feel like I wanted to use too much of it. So I could use 1 or 2 more, but I didn't. But I have them if I need them. This is the paint that I used on my tree and on the candlesticks. It is a hammered black rustoleum in metallic. Okay, it just really has a pretty, oh, and the black sparkled bulb I also painted with this. I already owned this, so I didn't have to buy it for this project. This is the paint pen I ended up using on painting the bulbs, which I will go ahead and I did not count in the price of what I had in that tree, only because I know I'll be using this. But this was only $1.77 at Walmart in the craft section where the acrylic paints and things are. We already owned this from a different project. We've had it for over a year. It's silver on one side, gold on the other, and this is also a paint pen. This is what I used on some of those bulbs as well. These are the containers, what the ornaments came in. It's a total of 10 ornaments. You could definitely put more. You could even buy a second tree. Take all the greenery off of the stick and make your tree thicker. This part here, I bent over long ways this way. So I folded it over like a taco so it sat like this along the top of here, and I glued that hat to it to help it to hold better. So that's what I did at the top of the tree. I guess I should have done a video as I was doing it, and I never thought about that. But it's easy peasy, guys. I don't know that there's a wrong way to glue that hat to the top. And for those of you who don't know what E6000 is, Walmart sells it. Sometimes everything is $1 sells it. And I had this tube from other projects, and it lasts forever. Please be careful with it, especially around small children, because once it's on whatever, it's on that for possibly ever. This is another version of the other hat, also from Everything is $1. I'll flip it over. So all we did was cut the bottom of this and literally slide the whole piece of plastic out from there all the way around. And then I just took scissors and cut the fabric off. But this is another version of what they have as far as the witches' hats at Everything is $1. and it's a headband, and that's what I used on my tree. This one's just a little bit different than the other one is. So that is my Halloween tree. I left, like on this one, it was red and gold, and I just put black on it here, and I decided to leave the gold. On this one, it was red and gold as well, but I used my silver pen and then added the black. This was totally gold, and I didn't like how gold it was, so I went ahead and just spray painted all of it. This one I used the paint pen, but the swirls were there, and I left them. You can see a little bit of red, but I don't think it looks too bad. This one, again, was red and gold, and I just took my black paint pen and took off the red, but I left the gold. So, but when you stand back, that is the whole tree. I think it looks amazing. I think it's very cute. You could take a second tree, cut all the limbs off of it, and just, you know, wrap them through your tree and make it even thicker. If you wanted a thicker tree, you could take 1 or 2 more trees and make it thicker just by cutting them off of the stake that runs all the way up and down. Or you could just do what I do. I think this is very cute. I ended up putting the lights on. You could put more lights if you just love lights and you just really want lights. I didn't want too many, but now that I look at it, I may decide to go back and get a bigger strand or just get 1 more strand. I haven't decided, and I may just leave it. I don't know. I think it looks adorable the way it is. So guys, that is my Halloween tree. Right about $13.50 if you don't want to count the paint. If you do want to count the one paint pen that I did purchase, it's $1.77, but you will use it for other projects, or grandkids or other kids or whatever may use it. So, and I've already started using it for another project. So I'm going to jump off here. I really hope that you like this, and I hope that you will try to do your own. These had clips on them. I can show you the pack. These came from Everything is $1. I put a couple of those on my tree. Like I said, this guy here came from Joann Fabrics. He was $5, but I thought he was adorable. Everything else came from Everything's $1. I think it turned out really, really well. I'm going to jump off here. I hope that you love what I did, and be kind to each other. Hit like, hit subscribe. More videos to come. Happy Halloween!